A grandfather claims to have cured his type 2 diabetes with a strict diet of dark chocolate and grapes. Terry Kemp, 68, from Bristol, developed the condition after ballooning to 16 stone. In a desperate attempt to rid himself of the disorder, Mr. Kemp began eating just a bar of 85% cocoa chocolate, alongside of 500 grams punnet of red grapes, every day. After 2 years of following the unusual diet, Mr. Kemp lost 3 stone, with doctors claiming his diabetes has disappeared. Around 4.6 million people are living with diabetes in the UK, of which approximately 90% suffer from type 2. Type 2 diabetes is often linked to being overweight or obese. For decades the disease has been considered to be 2 different forms: type 1, an autoimmune disease in which people stop producing insulin, and type 2, in which the body becomes resistant to insulin. But now a major project in Sweden and Finland has found type 2 diabetes should actually be categorized as 4 different diseases. The researchers, led by experts at Lund University, said the findings should prompt a paradigm shift in the way people treat diabetes. Cluster 1. Severe autoimmune diabetes, which until now has been known as type 1 diabetes, is an autoimmune disease in which people stop producing insulin. Usually strikes in childhood but can emerge in adults. Requires insulin injections for life. Cluster 2. Severe insulin-deficient diabetes, young people often misdiagnosed as having type 1, but whose immune systems are fine. Actually a variant of type 2 diabetes, but often at a healthy weight. High blood sugar, low insulin production and moderate insulin resistance. Cluster 3. Severe insulin-resistant diabetes, is predominantly linked to obesity and severe insulin resistance. Cluster 4. Mild obesity-related diabetes, includes obese patients, but is less serious and includes people who fall ill at a relatively young age. Cluster 5. Mild age-related diabetes is the largest group, with 40% of all patients, and consists mostly of elderly patients. It worked for me, Mr. Kemp told The Sun. I don't want to give people false hope, but it seems to have worked for me. It could be the chocolate, it could be the grapes, or it could be both for all I know. I've now started eating other things again. Daniel Howarth, head of care at Diabetes UK, urges type 2 diabetes patients contact their doctor if they are trying to lose or manage their weight. How do chocolate and grapes benefit diabetes patients? Previous research suggests cocoa contains a compound, known as epicatechin monomers, which enhances the secretion of the hormone insulin. Problems with insulin can lead to type 2 diabetes. In animal studies, epicatechin monomers also reduce obesity and improve the ability to cope with high blood glucose levels. Researchers add humans may require large quantities of the compound in order to benefit. Study author Professor Jeffrey Tessam, from Brigham Young University, said, "You probably have to eat a lot of cocoa, and you probably don't want it to have a lot of sugar in it. It's the compound in cocoa you're after." Dark chocolate contains relatively little sugar compared to milk and white varieties. Previous research also suggests whole fruit, as opposed to juice, contains antioxidants, which may help relieve type 2 diabetes. Fruit, such as grapes, also contain lots of fiber, which may help people feel full for longer and therefore reduce their overall calorie intake, assisting them in losing weight. Vitamin D in childhood prevents type 1 diabetes. This comes after research released in January this year suggested vitamin D in childhood prevents type 1 diabetes. The Sunshine supplement lowers susceptible individuals' risk by strengthening their immune systems, a study found. Lead author Dr. Jill Norris from the University of Colorado said, "For several years there has been controversy among scientists about whether vitamin D lowers the risk of developing type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune condition that occurs when a person's immune system attacks the cells that produce insulin. The condition is increasing by 3 to 5% annually, particularly among children. It is on the rise too quickly to be the fault of genetics, with experts therefore blaming everything from gluten, a growing obsession with cleanliness and obesity for the disorder's surging numbers."
Where the freaks at?